Timmy, playing the guitar?
Huh?
Playing.
Yeah.
That was my brother's boyfriend playing the guitar. Timmy, how often do you play?
Huh?
How often do you play?
What do you mean?
The guitar. How often do you play it? Ah. But that was my brother's boyfriend playing the guitar. I've only seen him play it a few times when I've been out here. Doing another video too. And you can play the music though too, so need some music in my video. America's mainstream news media has a short attention span, which has certainly played to the advantage of the long-running Republican fascist assault on democracy and on morality. Of late, the media has grown bored with QAnon, which I have too. The anti-Semitic and racist conspiracy cult, which claims to believe that a secret cabal of pedophile Democrats, which the pedophiles are mostly in the Republican Party, and other members of the deep state run the world and gain superpowers from kidnapping and killing children, and then ingesting their vital essence in this demented worldview. Only Donald Trump and other patriots can save the world, which Donald Trump isn't the patriot, he's a squatter, and the patriots that are supposed to support Trump are not patriots, they're fake patriots. It appears that QAnon followers played a significant role in the attack on the Capitol and coup attempt on January 6. No leaders of that coup plot have been apprehended or punished, and most of the foot soldiers have received relatively lenient punishment to this point. The current president Joe Biden and Attorney General Merrick Garland appear reluctant to apply the full power of the law to punish Trump, along with his sycophants, operatives, and nutlickers. The QAnon followers are also attempting to undermine the American democracy and civil society by infiltrating such vulnerable sites as local school boards, library committees, and other ground-level institutions of local and state government. The purported goal may be to ban the teaching of critical race theory, which is not taught in public schools, but the real goal is larger: to enforce punishment of unpatriotic thought crimes and to mainstream right-wing conspiracy theories and other lies about American history. The QAnon followers are also seeking to become election officials, where they are planning to use the fervor around Trump's big lie and other conspiracy theories to rig election results, overthrow multiracial democracy, and replace it with a one-party Republican rule. There was an article that was posted back in June. The National Education Association explored the QAnon-fueled radicalization of school boards in the communities all over America. In a small town in Washington State, the newly elected mayor calls QAnon a truth movement, and recently they fired the town's skeptical city manager. In the coastal San area, Luis Obispo of California, in San Luis Obispo, California, school board trustees' Facebook post included a QAnon video with misinformation about COVID-19 and Black Lives Matter, and promotion of the ex-gay conversion movement. She once says the town's mayor, who was calling for her resignation because people had no idea that what was going on and didn't have the bandwidth to research the school board election, reports the local newspaper, the Tribune said. But meanwhile, in Florida, a newly elected county sheriff is now explaining why he posed for photos last year with a supporter in "We Are Q" t-shirt. Across the country, conspiracy theorists and proponents of fake news are winning local elections, and their new positions give them a powerful voice in everything from local law enforcement to libraries, trash pickup, or to textbook purchases. The QAnon followers are also gaining influence and power within the white Christian evangelical churches and other faith communities. This is integral to the worsening radicalization of white Christianity and the threat of a right-wing holy war against Democrats, progressives, black and brown people, and anyone who believes in the separation of church and state, or who holds values and beliefs deemed un-American or anti-Christian. The public opinion polls and other research show that a large percentage of Republicans and Trump sycophants say that they believe in at least portions of the outlandish QAnon conspiracy theory, and not coincidentally are also willing to support the right-wing political violence to protect their traditional way of life and save the country. And this includes removing President Biden from office by any means, if deemed necessary. Matthew Rosa of the newspaper Salon, or the news article Salon, summarized these findings this week. New public opinion research from the nonprofit Religion Research Institute, which is part of its 12th annual American Value Survey, has returned alarming finds. Close to one-third of the Republicans in the survey, or 30%, agreed with the statement that true American patriots, which they're not patriots, have to resort to violence in order to save our country. And that was more than the combined total of Democrats and Independents who said the same thing at 11% or 17% respectively. The PRRI CEO and founder Robert Jones said that the large proportion of Republicans who appear ready to endorse the political violence is a direct result of the former squatter Trump calling into question the election. Jones noted that according to the same survey, more than two-thirds of Republicans, 68, claim that the election was stolen from Trump, which it wasn't, as opposed to 26% of the independents and 6% of Democrats. The study also found that 39% of those who believed that Trump had won the 2020 election, which he lost, endorsed potential violence, compared to only 10% of those who rejected the election misinformation. And there were also signs of a split based on media consumption, with 40% of Republicans who trust the far-right news, which is a fake news organization stuff, agreeing that violence could be necessary, compared to 32% of those who trust Poe, which I don't, and 22% among those who trust mainstream outlets. In addition, respondents who said violence may be necessary are more likely to report feeling like strangers in their country, or to say basically American culture has mostly worsened since the 1950s, and to believe that the imaginary God has granted America a special role in human victory, in human history, stuff like that. That's really about much it there, but yeah. Actually, no, hold on. There might be some more stuff down at the bottom here. Yeah, here. Actually, this might go on a little bit more. In the conversation that Moskalenko discusses the dangers that QAnon poses to American democracy and national security, she explains that QAnon is a community where overwhelmingly white and often socially alienated followers find fellowship and meaning as they are radicalized into extremism and other potentially dangerous antisocial behavior. In her view, QAnon functions as a space that nurtures and satisfies white fantasies of the right-wing masculinity, femininity, violence, and heroism, about protecting children and reasserting traditional values. But toward the end of this conversation, Mosenko explains what she would tell Biden and other senior members of the administration about threats posed by the right-wing terrorism, as well about the ways that the hostile foreign powers are using disinformation and other forms of propaganda to weaken American democracy and society. But the conversation had been edited and for length and clarity. Basically, people have been feeling a little bit like Cassandra, the woman in Troy, who was yelling as loud as he could about the city falling to ruin, and everybody was laughing at it. Then, of course, her warnings came true. It doesn't feel good. There was so much attention being paid to Islamic terrorism after 9/11, but unfortunately, there was not enough attention being paid to the trans rights that were in the United States domestically. This was all very alarming for somebody such as me, who is an expert on terrorism and radicalization. And these trends pointed to how the right-wing groups were attracting more people and carrying out more and more lethal attacks. But that's about it there. It goes on a long way, and there's too much to go on about. But if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, and also RBW King, and also hit the notification bell so that you know if a new video comes out. And thanks for listening.